All right, folks, welcome to the 7 Quotes with podcast, where softball's greatest minds share the quotes that have shaped their lives, fueled their motivation, and guided their leadership. Each episode explores 7 handpicked quotes highlighting life lessons, personal philosophies, and game day mantras. I'm your host, Jaime Oikle. Joining me today is Coach Courtney Breault, head coach of Charlotte Softball. Coach Courtney is in her second season as the head coach of the 49ers, has had coaching stops at Clemson and Furman, which I'm sure we'll touch on. Her playing days were at Nebraska and Arkansas, which I'm sure we'll hit on that too. So, Coach Courtney, what still gets you excited about that big yellow ball?
I think it's just an awesome profession that we have. Like, we get to impact young lives on a daily basis and do it with the sport that's kind of impacted me throughout my entire life. So, it's been quite the journey, going from a player, going to a coach, and, being in the position I'm at now, and just really love the game still, and love to compete, love to be in, the competitive environment with a team and kind of everybody striving for one goal. So just enjoying it and enjoying the girls that I get to be around every day. We've got a great group of student athletes, great group of staff, and just excited to go into work every day.
Yeah, awesome. We're going to touch on a few of the things you said and where we are in the season and so forth, but let's go to quote number 1.
Yes.
Pull it up here. Leave no doubt. What do you got?
Yes. A lot of people have said that. For me, my coach in travel ball, Coach Norm Sherman, that was kind of our mantra going back to travel ball, and it's really stuck with me ever since. When I was at Nebraska, on our lockers, they had us pick a quote that would go above it, and this was my quote. It's just something that I've lived by, since being in high school, middle school, and just leave no doubt. I mean, show up every day, get your job done, compete to the best of your ability, and leave no doubt that you left it on the field or in any walk of life, right? Like, you gave your all, and whatever outcome may happen happens, but leave no doubt that you left it out there, and you did your best.
Yeah, well, you hit on something that I wanted to go to kind of early, so let's go there. Let's go back in time. You talked about being young and playing. What is one of your first or early softball memories, and what is one of your highlight college memories?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I even go back. It wasn't even softball; it was t-ball. I was playing with the boys back when I was young, and just kind of at that age, I definitely, this is what my parents say, had skills, and it's fun to kind of compete with the boys, and then finally get to the softball side of things, and kind of competing in rec softball. I remember, our yellow shirts or jerseys for our, the yellow team. I don't know what the name was, but kind of in rec. And then for me, I started travel ball, I think I was 9 or 10, playing 10U. And, I tried out for a travel team, the California Breeze, back when I was that age. And, it became something really special to me. I played other sports, but always just kept coming back to softball, and was definitely the sport that I played at the travel and like elite level the most. And, stayed with that team. I think I was with the California Breeze for my entire career, except for 1 year when I was in 12U, and just, really thankful for the opportunities, thankful for all the players that, I played with. I played with, I think one of my teammates, I played from 10U up till we graduated high school. And to go back and like, we were at that same tryout in, September of 2001, like, it's crazy to think about, and just kind of how we went about it. But, really enjoyed the travel ball life and traveling from place to place, and just a lot of fun.
I was going to ask you, because California, correct? Yeah, you grew up in California. And so like here in Florida, you can play 12 months out of the year. You played some other sports, but what else did you play? Do you encourage folks to play other sports? What do you think about that?
Yeah. When I was younger, I played soccer and basketball, and I played basketball throughout high school too.
Yeah.
Those were kind of my sports, and it was nice in the winter to kind of get away and be able to play basketball. And I mean, I still probably like hit a little bit and went to my hitting lessons and stuff like that. But just to be able to have like a different group of friends and to have a little break from the grind and just kind of, I think it's great when kids play other sports and just move their bodies in different ways and, get your mind on something else other than, the one thing that you're kind of focused on. So I loved it and had a great experience playing other sports. And, I still got a basketball hoop in my office now, like a small one. So we've been playing a lot of that. It's just, you got to have fun with it.
Yeah, I do. I do think folks get locked into the one sport mentality, the pressure of it. So please do some other stuff. Maybe it's just middle school ball or high school ball, or play a different sport, do a different activity, take some time off in the summer, go swimming, like do something else with your body. Exactly. Don't get locked in, because fatigue it's a real thing. Overuse is a real deal.
Exactly.
Of course, you've seen it. I've seen it. Let's go to quote number 2. What is tell me about this one.
Yes. So it's be where your feet are. I think it's really easy to get caught up in the past or the future. And, for me, I've been at different stops. I've been different places, and I just really try to stay present in each moment and, present, whether it's, focusing on getting a task done or focusing on, hey, we can't think about the games in front of us. We've got to be really present where we are right now and kind of locked in on this moment. So, it's a great quote and just kind of something that we try to focus in on. Even for us right now, we're going into a 3-game series, and you can't get caught up in what the 3 games might look like. You got to go hammer the first one. And so just, making sure that you're present in the moments that you're in.
Yeah, I think we all get caught looking backwards, which really doesn't help too much, and sometimes looking forwards, which like sit here in the present. And we're going to talk about the season in a second. But transition from player to coach. Did you go right from playing to coaching? Gap in between?
Yeah, so I did transfer and I had an extra semester. So I graduated in December of 2013, and the assistant coach that was at Arkansas when I was there, he was the head coach at Furman, and his assistant was one of my best friends that I played with at Arkansas. So they both talked me into coming down to Greenville, South Carolina, and being the volunteer coach in January of 2014. So I had a semester where I wasn't playing and wasn't really doing anything. I got to travel a little bit. I got to finish school, and I got a look at what kind of normal life was as a student in college. It was a lot of fun, but a lot of time on my hands. So in January, I went down to Furman and really started coaching then. I got out of it. And I went back home a couple years after, but just kind of to see, like, is this softball, is this lifestyle, is this coaching thing like what I have to do? And I got a 9-to-5 job, and it sucked. And so, I came right back and, came back to Furman, but then, got the opportunity to go to Clemson and be a part of starting that program. So, I think going back to kind of the transition of player to coach, I was with, 2 great people, 2 great coaches that really brought me in. And I tried to kind of be a sponge to them and just see how they coached their girls and coach, like, what their styles were. Sure. And, I didn't have to have my voice heard all the time, which is good. And so I got to really find my way and find my voice in coaching and kind of going from, being a player into coach. And when I got there was a girl that was older than me on the team.
There you go.
So, you can relate a lot to in those moments. And I still feel like with my playing career and with all the things that I've gone through, I can relate a lot to the girls, but I am, 10 years out of it now of playing. And so it's a little different, but just a great experience getting into coaching and, we had a great group of girls, a great group of players that were a lot of fun, great group of coaches, and 2 people that are my best friends still. And, just a really cool time in life, and a great way to get into the profession and really enjoy it.
I wrote down the word normal when you were talking there, because like as a student athlete, you're you're student athlete, student. And then when you're just a student, it's different. My daughter's plays at Yale, and we talk about that. I mean, they are busy, especially in season. Like, it is no joke. And so for folks that are listening to this, that are on the younger side saying, I want to play in college, like, it is a big deal. It is a big job. It is not all fun and roses. There's a lot going on there. But hey, I want to go to Clemson for a second, because 2 things. One, we're talking here on Wednesday morning. Last night, Clemson had a big game, big midweek game, pull out the win. We know a couple of kids on that team played with my daughter, so I was checking out that game. I think it went to extras and all that stuff. And so you started that program as a coach on a midweek game. Do you dial that up? Do you check the results? Did you watch that one at all?
We played ourselves, and then right after we got done, I threw it on because they were in, the 8th or 9th inning. So I got to see the rest of it. This is actually my first year at Charlotte. So
I'm sorry.
I'm fresh out of it. And so, I recruited a lot of those kids, and still very tight with them, with the coaches. And, my whole staff has Clemson ties. So we were all watching it and very excited for them, very excited to see their success. I think as a team, like, you do get excited for these midweek games, especially when you're talking top 20 matchups. And for them, they were playing the number 1 team in some of the polls. And, you gotta show up and you gotta play, and just excited for what they were able to do and go get a big win. That's huge for them and where we're going, especially this late in the season.
Yeah, for sure. We'll derail for a second. I'm curious. People ask the question. I know Clemson got started recently, but why did Clemson not have a softball team before? But how was it getting started from the ground up? That was crazy.
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, I agree with those. Like, how did they not have a softball program? But the fans, the area, they were just dying for a softball team, and the support has been incredible. It was a lot of fun to start the program and be, one of the founding members with Coach Rittman and Kyle Jamison. And then those players, I think all of us, we went through a lot and we became really close, and we all had a great experience. I think something that obviously helped me in my coaching career and where I'm going to go, and just very thankful for the opportunity. And, we went through ups and downs, but for some reason, we just had some magic with us, and we were able to, do well, have a lot of success early on. And that's just testament to the type of players that we were able to recruit, and, recruiting kids that they didn't see a facility. They didn't see a stadium when they were committing. And so they committed to the vision. They committed to what they wanted that program to be. And then, the support from the administration, the support from the fans, and the whole Clemson community is just huge. So just something really special there in Clemson, and something that I'm very proud to have been a part of, and, still a part of. I still claim it, and, have a lot of love and always rooting for them.
Yeah, again, we have a couple friends on that team, and so I've plugged into some of their stuff. Great fan support, great program. They're doing well. So let's go to quote number 3. This is a good one. What do you got?
Yes, whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. I feel like I've worn that one out this year, especially, but it's all a mindset. You've got to believe, and if you don't believe, then you're in trouble. And believe is one of my quotes that I always used growing up too. And if you think you can't, you're limiting yourself, and you've just got to believe. And if you don't believe, you got to fake it until you make it, and at least show it on the outside that you are not phased and that you can. And so I think you can be your own worst critic or limitation, whatever you want to say, and you've got to there's nobody else. I can believe in my players all I want, but if they don't believe in themselves, what does that do? They're not going to be as successful. So I think that in
Yeah.
anything, it's huge to have the right mindset and to have a positive mindset.
Yeah, I hear the kids, I have coaching a younger team, but you hear the word can't, whether it's your kid at school or at home or on the field. Like, I can't do something. Well, you just programmed yourself. You're not going to have success in that arena. So yeah, you got to take that out of your mindset. And it just, when you were talking, made me think of, I don't have it here, but Yoda from Star Wars, right? I mean, do or do not. There is no try. Like, you're either going to do it or you're not going to do it. So it's a mindset thing. So great life lesson there. Any other kind of life lessons from softball that came along your journey?
I kind of go back to this. I think it was one of the most impactful things that happened to me playing is I was a transfer, and back when there was no portal. But that was a huge experience for me, and something that I struggled with. Struggled just accepting it, I guess. It just was, the coach that recruited me to Arkansas wasn't the coach that ended up being there, and I had a great relationship with Kyle Jamison, who I've coached with my entire career since starting until this year. But, just felt like it was something that I needed to leave. And I had a great opportunity at Nebraska, and I loved it there. Like, the softball was amazing. The coaches were amazing. Everything was amazing. It just was a hard transition for me. And definitely shaped me into the type of person I am, the type of experiences I want to give my student athletes, and just seeing what those coaches did at Nebraska and just the type of program they ran there, first class. And, that was just something that was very impactful for me, and probably up to that point, one of the hardest things that I had to deal with. So, it definitely took a lot of I don't know, soul searching and figuring out, but it was by far like meant to be. It was supposed to happen, and I couldn't be more grateful for it now. It's just, things are hard in the moment, and I always say it's like it's harder in the moment than it is when you're going to look back at it. But just something that was really impactful, just the transferring process, and everybody now it has a different way to transfer, different reasons and everything. But just that's kind of my story, and definitely shaped who I am and just the coach I want to be for my kids.
Good. Yeah. It not an easy decision to move. And it has become a different process, the transfer process as folks move around. But this one I want to go to, and I watched a documentary on this guy, and he is phenomenal. If you ever watch anything with Winston Churchill as a leader, the time that it was in, but walk me through this.
Yeah. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is courage to continue that counts. Again, we're gonna, especially in softball, we're gonna fail, and you can't be, you can't take that too much into account. Like, you have to keep pushing, and there's going to be highs and lows, and you're never as good as you feel like you are. You're never as bad as you feel like you are. You're just kind of in the middle, and softball humbles you. So you've got to make sure that the failures move you forward rather than just make you feel like crap about yourself. You've got to learn from failure, and you've got to, I use the two words, determined versus defeated. You've got to use failure and get determined rather than get defeated. And for me, that's just a huge quote that resonates with me. And just, we're going to have highs and lows. We've just got to be steady, and we've got to continue to fight and to do it without fear, and have courage to keep moving on, even when it's tough.
Yeah, good stuff there. Appreciate that, Coach. And yeah, it's a game of failure. If you get locked in, I mean, you're gonna get another bat. You're gonna get, if you're a pitcher, next pitch. If you're a hitter or you're a fielder, next ground ball. Like, you're gonna miss some, and so you got to be able to get right back on track. And question for you, in those tough moments, I asked this with Coach Ashley Waters from BU the other day, and I want to get more takes on it. Like, using those timeouts when things aren't going well, offensively, defensively. I've seen a coach go out on the second pitch of the game, and I've seen no timeouts used in the game. How do you think about those moments where you got to kind of talk to folks where things maybe aren't going that well?
Yeah, I mean, being a head coach now, I'm the one going out to those meetings. I haven't done that before, so I'm still figuring it out. But
Yeah.
I think knowing your student athletes and knowing each person individually and kind of maybe what they need versus one approach isn't going to work for everybody. So you've got to have that relationship, and then sometimes you've got to lighten the mood. Sometimes you've got to give them some crap. Sometimes you've got to just let them breathe. I mean, part of that, sometimes I just go out there and just say, like, I just want you to breathe. You're doing great. You just got to keep focusing on XYZ or pitch with conviction, whatever it is. It's kind of what they need in that moment, and it's always different. But part of it is just slow the game down, trust your ability, trust what you do, and go after it. Like, just again, kind of going back to the quote, it's like, you can't have fear here. You've got to go and you've got to attack the moment.
Thank you for that. I was thinking similarly about challenges, the question of challenges, and you don't want to use them too early. You got to pick the right times. We're talking about the game last night. Of course, they used them right. I saw them use them right at the end, because why not? But how have you used any this year in the games you've played in? How do you think about it?
Yeah, I mean, you can't take them home with you, so you better use them. But I think it's all kind of the moment, and there's plays that are bigger than others. There's moments, depending on the situation. Maybe it's like, okay, well, here we're going to be 2 out or 2 on, nobody out. It's like, that would be big to kind of start a rally. Maybe if there's 2 outs, nobody on, and there was a questionable call, you kind of let that go. But you want to be able to have them when there's an impactful play and an impactful time. And, I think we probably don't have a very good average on being right now. But,
Okay.
again, you can't take them home with you. So if you're getting later in the game and there's a player or two that maybe you wouldn't do it early, you can look to do it then. But obviously, scoring calls are huge. Those ones you want to be able to review if there's a bang play there, and things like that.
Yeah. It's been great. And I'm sure coaches everywhere are glad that it exists, because some calls just get missed. And when you slow it down and get it right, it's good for the game.
The umpire's job is very difficult.
Oh my gosh.
It's not an easy job. And
so hard.
To have a little bit of backup for them is not a bad thing.
Yeah, agreed. Love this. One of my favorite quotes. What do you got?
Michael Scott, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So again, it's having kind of no fear in what you're doing, and believing in yourself. I think another quote that comes to mind with this is like the Michael Jordan quote, where he's like, I've missed so many shots and I've lost so many games and I still want the ball in my hands. I'm paraphrasing all of that.
But it's like that.
It's just like the best players want the ball in their hands, and they want the opportunity to make a difference in the game. And that's why, some of those elite players just are elite, because they have that mindset. And it's hard to get everybody in that mindset and kind of not fearing the moment, not letting the moment be too big for them. And then just having the security, or just the mindset, like, whatever happens. I'm not always going to be able to come through. It's impossible to be 100% on, making the game-winning shot, but you got to try, and you got to really just put your best effort forward. And if you don't take it, you're going to miss. So just take it. And sometimes your best is all we can ask for. And if it doesn't go our way, it doesn't go our way. But go out there and compete and do it with confidence and do it with conviction.
Yeah, listen, classic Wayne Gretzky. Love watching him. You brought up Michael Jordan. His quote was exactly like you talked about. I've taken so many shots and I've missed so many game-winning shots. And people just think about the ones that he won, but he admits it. I've missed so many game-winning shots, but that's what makes me great, and so forth. And I told our kids we were behind in the last inning of a game the other day, and it's like, we're the home team in that instance. Like, this is what we practice for. This is what we wait for. And sometimes they get nervous, right? But like, this is what we go for. And sure enough, hit, and we grab the lead and, win the game. And of course, it doesn't always work out like that. Sometimes you give a nice little pep talk, or you think it's good, and you go out 1, 2, 3, and you're like, oh shoot, but whatever. That happens too. But that's what you train for. You get ready, you get nervous, but you're nervous because you have butterflies, because you're excited, you want things to go well. But let's keep rolling. Actually, a quick question that I want to go to for a second. I know you did some recruiting where you've been. Obviously, you're doing it now. 30 to 60 seconds of recruiting advice for prospective athletes. What do you think?
Yeah, everybody's process is different. Everybody's timetable is different. So just put your best foot forward. Again, coaches know we're recruiting softball players. You're going to fail, but handling failures and handling the ups and the downs, like we're looking at that too. So be a good teammate. Send us your emails and send us your small clips of video within those emails, because that helps us like see a name, put a face to it, put a swing to it, whatever it is. But don't get caught up in what your friends are doing or who's committing where. Again, things fall into place, things happen for a reason, things happen at the right time, and just trust the process and, keep grinding. But it's not always about, oh my gosh, I didn't get a hit in front of this coach. It's about how do you handle that? How do you go out? Do you play great defense afterwards? Do you pick your pitcher up? And, we all fail here. You've got to fail well, and then, bounce back from it.
Yeah, there's such a good opportunity for players to be a teammate when you don't do well. When you strike out, don't put your head down, slam your helmet and all that stuff. Jog in the dugout, teammates hopefully pick you up. Your teammates struggling, pick them up. Like, there's so many opportunities to do that, because you are going to fail. So I appreciate that. And when my daughter went through it and I saw kids doing that, you got it. This is for everybody. If you haven't heard this before, people are watching you, right? They're watching you at the games, practice, how you warm up in the pre-drills, how you behave after the game, good or bad, and so forth. So just always, especially once you get to 14 and beyond, like, people are watching you. So behave accordingly. Famous stuff. This guy's from my neck of the woods. Walt Disney. What do you got?
There you go. Growing old is mandatory, but growing up is optional. I love this because we are getting older, because I'm getting there. I mean, I'm 10 years out at least now. And, it's a little bit different, but for me, it's like, I want to still play. I want to still, go out and take swings and throw the ball around. And I think that, you get older when you stop doing those things. So still, I'm a big proponent of, like, we want to have fun. We want to have joy for others. And for me, I love to laugh. I love to keep things light as possible. And I think that, I'm still a kid at heart. And like I said, I got a basketball hoop in the office. Like, we shoot baskets, and life it doesn't have to be crazy serious all the time. Just go out, have fun, travel, put everything you have into, for me, coaching and my profession, but also be able to step away and have a life, and, be able to take those moments too. And, it's not that serious. Just have a good time and stay young as long as you can, stay active.
Well said. With the team, like, you want to have fun, but you want to be serious. How do you do some team bonding, team activities? What has worked for you guys?
Yeah. I think it's different every year. I think if there's rainy days, you might do something where you get bowling, or you get to, I always say, we've taken the girls at times, not this year yet, but taking them to like an arcade where it has, some laser tag, stuff like that. This year, the girls have wanted to go to a coffee shop. And so we've taken the bus there, and everybody gets excited. But I think, the girls this year have a game called Signs that they are playing like nonstop when we're not doing softball stuff and pregame and all of that. And I think, for us, this is kind of something that I took from Clemson and Coach Rittman. We have some dinners throughout the fall with not the full team, with like a group of girls, 5 or 6 of them.
Right.
And being able to kind of get away from the whole team and them get to know you a little bit better and a little bit more time, instead of 20 to 1 or 20 to 4, it's 5 to 1, 5 to 4. So, being able to do that, Christmas dinner, Thanksgiving dinner, things like that. And just, we want to create an environment where the girls want to be together, but we also want them to do some of that team bonding by themselves. And, the girls were going to go to a concert. Everybody on the team was going to go to this concert, got rescheduled, but just things like that where they can have fun without the coaches. And then, we try to get the team bonding going. And I think, we'll do some team dinners on the road where it's like, everybody's going to be here. We're going to have a dinner. We might talk a little bit, but, also on the road, we have we have a lot of families that like to travel and want them to be able to, eat with them and do that too. So just kind of finding a balance. And I think too, like we have a staff that's really close. We're all best friends here and we hang out, we laugh, and we do our thing. And I think that the girls see that too and see that closeness, and it kind of, helps bleed into them too.
It's such an important part, and the girls love it. Those opportunities to get outside of the game and be together and joke and have fun. So yeah, it's such an important piece. All right, let's go to quote number 7. This one kind of wraps and encapsulates. What do you got?
Yes, trust the process, enjoy the journey. I think you can get tied to outcomes a little bit too much, and whether that's the athlete, whether that's the coach, but it's not about the outcome. I've said this to our girls a lot this year. It's not about the wins and the losses. It's about like how you compete, how you work together as a team, how you go about your business. And, you've got to enjoy the process. You've got to enjoy kind of the whole thing. It's crazy to sit here and it feels like yesterday that the season was 56 games long, and now we've got 6 left. So it happens fast, and especially for student athletes that are in this time of their life where they get 4 or 5 years to compete and to be in a setting like this, and to be in a team setting where you guys are all working together every day. You're hanging out every day together, but you're working for one common goal and to continue to get better. You're not going to get that back in your life. And I get it a little bit as a coach and in a different role than as the player, but you've got to enjoy it, and you've got to kind of be in this moment, and not worry about the summer coming, not worry about your job coming as much. You've got to plan some things out, but you've got to be locked in here and just, enjoy the highs and the lows, because it's about that. And it's about when you struggle moving forward and getting back the next time.
Yeah, we are fastly approaching conference playoff time, NCAA tournament time. You've been there as a coach. You've been there as a player. It just keeps getting bigger every year, by the way. It's awesome. Like softball is just growing like crazy. How have you seen that environment change over the years?
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible. I think I go back to, I graduated in 2013, and that's the year we made a run to the World Series. And I go back and our regional games, I don't even know if any of them other than the championship game that year was on TV in our region. And it's like, that would never happen now. So just the coverage, just the amount of talent that we're seeing, there's so much parity. Any team can beat anybody on any given day. It's really cool to see how the game has evolved, how much more there's fan base, there's young kids playing. It's really cool. And I think that it's only going to get bigger and bigger because people have found that this sport is exciting. It's quick. It's, we hit bombs, we can make great plays, and we're doing it on such a quick environment. It's just really special.
Yeah, two things there. Not to throw baseball under the bus, right? But like softballs, it's just funner to watch. Like it's faster, the pace of it, and so forth. But we'll go back to ESPN for a second. Last night, again, the coverage of the Clemson Tennessee game. I mean, what a production. I mean, shout out to ESPN for covering it, putting the dollars behind it, the people behind it. It's such a great presentation that they're doing for the games, and now they're broadcasting so many games plus ESPN plus, picking up everybody. It's been awesome. So continue to see it grow. I love it. And we'll see if we can get that future next step where there's a real solid league for the girls to go to down the road. But all right, so this one you can go in any direction you want. What is something that maybe not a lot of folks know about you?
Yeah, I mean, again, I kind of mentioned it. Like, I am a coach and I'm very into softball and coaching, but I also like to have a life. And, I've got, I love to travel. I love to go places. I've been very lucky, and people might know this if they see me on social media, but I've been very lucky. I'm from California. We've vacationed in Hawaii often. So love to go there. I went to Italy and Greece and Turkey this summer. So, I love to get out and about. I went to Disney in the fall, was able to get away. So again, I'm all about experiences. I'm all about having great times with like the people I'm closest with and my friends. Love to go to concerts and that type of stuff, but just want to do as much as I can, while I can. So kind of the same thing is like, don't get old, just keep going and doing things and having a great time. And that's kind of what I'm about, just traveling, having great experiences. And, then on the flip side, as a coach, like wanting to be able to give a great experience to student athletes and really help them have a great experience within softball, but also within their whole college experience.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, so thank you for sharing so much. Go ahead and hit them. We got your Twitter feed down there, but your website, other socials, what's going on?
Yeah, on Twitter, or I guess X, and Instagram, I'm cbreault12. At Charlotte Softball, you can find our summer camps. They're live now. Would love to see everybody, but that's kind of where I'm at. I'm the same handle for both of those, and definitely would love to see everybody this summer. It's going to get crazy. We're going to get out recruiting, and we're finishing up the season, but excited to do it.
Awesome. All right, folks. Coach Courtney from Charlotte Softball. They are at charlotte49ers.com. Plus, you can find them on the various social channels. Folks, please do us a big favor and like or rate and review the show wherever you watch it or listen to it. That helps us grow our new podcast, getting the word out there. So if you can share it, that would be great. We would appreciate it. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you. Appreciate you having me.